the rationale for me in doing this is that typically in our department, students have to review themselves giving a speech and they'll do an evaluation sheet. They'll fill out a self-evaluation sheet of what they've done. And this comes at like week 8 or 9 in the semester where they come to the speech lab and they're recorded by our speech lab technician. And then the process has evolved. It used to be we record it on VHS and then they walk out of the room, go watch it, then go home and evaluate. Then we put it in a digital format. It was on Dropbox. Now we can have the student bring a flash drive and they can take it right home. However, as I stated, that's in week 8 or 9. So using the iPad has allowed me to do this up front, maybe week 1, week 2, record the students in the classroom and allow them to get immediate feedback where they can see it in class same day, and then they have evaluated one another. And I've done it a few ways. I've created an assignment where they can, I've given them as an impromptu, take a blurb home, work on it, come back the next day, and we're going to all be presenting to one another in class, one-on-one. I'll take them out in the hallway, record them while the rest are in the classroom practicing. I'll take one out, and then we'll just go. And then when they're all done, then we come back, we watch them, given an evaluation sheet so they can evaluate the things that we've talked about, what they will be looking out for one another on the speeches. Done that, then I decided, well, let me turn this into somewhat of a competition. So they enjoyed that. I put them in groups. I gave them something that I wanted them to say. The groups were concerned with, or were told to prepare one student out of the group for the competition. So you know what the parameters are, you know what I'm looking for, you know what's expected. So let's, 3 of you prepare just one person to be the one to get recorded. So we'll spend the class time, you preparing this person, they go out there and do what you all have suggested, record it, go out in the classroom, bring it back, and then we watch them, and then I've had them vote. Which one should be the winner, which one's in second place, which one is third place, and as we go through, students are able to explain why we're choosing winner for number 1. And they're saying that this person gave us a great introduction, or this person engaged the audience, or they had the volume going on, or they gave us great eye contact. And then we go to speaker number 2, why didn't they get number 1? Well, they weren't so interesting, you know, they didn't really know what was going on, or whatever the case may be, and we go all the way down. So I tried that with this, and it has been very successful. The students were able to watch themselves immediately, get feedback, and take home the peer evaluation sheets from their classmates, because as they were watching each other present on the screen, they had a rubric which they had to ask to answer questions so they could go ahead and give it to that student at the end. So each student walked out with a peer evaluation sheet and watching themselves with that. So that's one component in how I have used the iPad for this public speaking component. Also, where I pull up the Quizlet as a review from last class. So I may put 5 or 6 questions, and I do flashcards at the very beginning of class when they come in just as a review. So I'll put up a concept, and then students will have to shout out what their response would be for that term, and we go through that, and then we just move on with the lesson for today. I also use the teacher kit for attendance. Students love it, I love it. But when they come in the first day and I'm taking their picture, they think I have 2 heads or that I'm crazy. Why are you taking my picture? I said, I promise it's not going on YouTube. But they have enjoyed just coming in and clicking themselves present for the day. And it's been great, especially now. I just download it and send it on to the department secretary at the end of the semester. I have enjoyed that. One thing that I did learn is that something may always go wrong, so be prepared. So even when each semester something does go wrong, and I have tried to find ways around that. So if I have a class, like for this semester, I have an 8 a.m. where I was able to do half of my activity, and the other half I couldn't get, like we are struggling to get the volume. We were able to get the visual portion, but we couldn't get the audio. So I had to just literally play it out of the iPad, and we all had to huddle around the iPad just to hear it, but they could see. So that was that. But then when I got to the next class, it worked perfectly. So it just depends, but always be prepared for what could go wrong. And I find that it takes 3 times to go through it, make all of the mistakes to figure out, oh, so this is how I really want to do this assignment. So that's worked for me. One of the changes or adjustments that I would make would be to maybe have more than one iPad in the classroom for the recording purposes of how I've been using it. And I say that because while it does take time for me to take each student out in the hallway, but in the instance of me putting them in groups, they could hold and showcase each other as each group is going, and then it wouldn't take as long to do the recordings. Of course, I can split it up into 2 class periods, which I have done, although they like it immediately. As a matter of fact, my students have said to me, can you just email me what I've just done? I want to see that as soon as I leave this classroom. And we've been able to do that. Actually, they showed me how to do that. So you go in there, and this is how I'll take attendance. So students come in and they can literally just click once and they make themselves present. And when they don't come to class, I click twice and it makes themselves absent. But you are able to, they sent us instructions on how to get the roster from Blackboard to upload it right into TeacherKit, so you don't have to type in the names. So you can get the names of the students to be placed in TeacherKit for you. And at the end of the semester, I do a download, and it comes out into a file, and that's what I send on with the report of each student. And so that's how I can see, you know, to send it on to the department secretary and things. But no, I have to literally go back into Blackboard to do the new ILP. I still have to do that. Okay. So I'm taking attendance twice. This is my record, and that's the college's record. Oh, and then my Quizlet. You can't hear this, but it'll also say the word that's here. And so at the beginning of class, I'll take the first 5 minutes and they will review what we did last class. And I'll say, okay, you all remember this word? What is that? Does anybody remember? Yeah, we got it. They'll say what they have to say. And then I flip the card. And then they say, oh, okay, that's right, okay. So then I go over to the next term, and then we'll do that. So for this particular class, I had given them historical speeches to go home and to rehearse. Practice, they had 1 class period. It was a sort of like an impromptu. I'm giving it to you today. When you come back next class, this is what we're going to do. We're going to walk in, and then we're going to have at it, and we're going to see who could be our class winner. This young lady was our class winner, and I wish you could hear her. She's great. This is actually one of our dual enrollment students. Actually, she attends Fairmont Heights High School.
For some votes. The year when all the white political crooks would be back in your and my community with their false promises, building up our hopes for a letdown, with their trickery and their treachery, with their false promises, which they know they don't intend to keep.
Okay, so just right there, you can see how valuable this can be in the classroom. When the students can actually see themselves and say, wow, I really did do that, because they never think they did that until they see it for themselves. They never believe me. I can tell them until I'm blue in the face and they don't believe me. But as I asked them to rate how fast they were speaking, how slow, was it a varied pace, was it conversational, was it engaging, did you have clear articulation, how was the delivery, did all of your words just run together, did it seem jumbled, did you have effective pausing, conveying excitement or appropriate emotion, inflection, paralanguage, not monotone, bores to death, 1 level of speaking. So I encourage the inflection of the voice. And then the fillers, the ums and the ahs and the ers. I actually have also had them do an activity where I gave them, they came to the class and I gave each student a topic. When they walked to the front, the topic was whatever it's going to be, and I'm going to count your ers and your ums and your ahs. And they never think that they are excessive ummers until they watch themselves and see that they really are, and how that's going to affect when they actually give their presentation. So, adjustments that I would make to this activity would be, I could require this, and I've been thinking about this, requiring students to have a formal rehearsal with me for the informative and the persuasive speeches, where I would record them practicing for their big presentations. They have the informative and the persuasive with the iPad, and then they can get immediate feedback on that. I've been thinking about that. Students, the impact of the integration, students really seem to enjoy this exercise. They enjoy the immediate feedback. How do I feel that the technology integration was for me? It's been great. I feel like I'm a little more modern and more cool, if you will. It's helped me to step out of my comfort zone. I've mentioned that before. The students loved it. They enjoy watching and critiquing themselves. They enjoy the competition aspect that I've added to it. Students not only received the peer evaluations that everyone submitted, but they were able to get the live feedback. And they say, man, you did a pretty good job up there, you know, and they actually like that. I'm thinking of putting a static speech example of myself for them to follow. Thank you very much.